Okay.
Jeff is a 31-year-old white male who has been in one time to see this therapist, and this setting we're going to be working on client-centered therapy. Jeff, it's good to see you again.
Well, thanks.
I'm glad you came back again.
Yeah.
So, kind of tell me, how's it been going since we talked last time?
Well, my job's still okay. I enjoy the landscape architecture that I'm doing. I don't always like the people I work with. Some of them are complete tools.
Okay.
And some of them are just bossy. So I sit there, a lot of times I check in at the beginning of the day. I've got this boss that'll hand out assignments, and he's one of the tools I'm talking about. Sometimes he gives okay assignments. I enjoy the high-end, upscale neighborhood that we go work at.
Mm-hmm.
The people up there just are really nice. They treat you well, and they're just not, shit jobs where you're just going in to, do one or two things and you're working with, whatever apprentice is on the job for that day. So
Yeah.
I like it when he gives me those jobs.
So it sounds like you enjoy the challenge.
I've been doing this for so long, there's really no challenge. I know I've been, 10 years now in the trade.
Wow.
I pretty much know everything there is to know. And then a lot of what the upscale people want up there, we make it look glitzy, but it's really not that hard. It's, you put a couple of tubes in the back of a water pump, you plug it in, you know what I mean? So a lot of that's not hard. Like I said, what makes it hard is when I'm working with people that don't know what they're doing, that just want to have can you do this? Is what I'll ask one of the apprentices, and they'll look at me with a deer in the headlights stare.
Right.
So I have no idea what they're doing.
Gotcha. So it sounds like you maybe are seeking more of a challenge. Is that maybe what I'm hearing?
I like my job where I'm at. I don't want any type of management position or anything like that. I think that most people are power hungry to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody could just show up, do the job the way they're supposed to, and go home, I'd be fine with that.
Good.
Yeah.
So it sounds like work's going okay for you.
Yeah, work's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any real problems. As long as it doesn't change, I'm good.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about, when we talked last time, you mentioned having a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
Kind of tell me more about that.
Well, I think when I started the session last time, I was at a scale of, you gave me that scale of 1 to 10. I think I was about a 7 when I came in. And when we left, I wasn't too far down. I was maybe about a 5. Today I'd say I'm about a 3 or 4. I'm doing okay.
What do you think's made that change?
You told me to go see my doctor and talk about some medications. So I went and saw him, and they put me on a real mild anti-anxiety medication. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But I've been only taking that for about 2 weeks now, and it seems to be helping. Like I said, I haven't talked to my dad for a while, so that's helping too, because he's an asshole. So.
Right. So are you wanting to build that relationship with your dad? Or is that something you're okay with putting on the shelf for a little while?
Okay. Here's why I would build that relationship with my dad. For my mom.
Okay.
Okay, I love my mom to death. She means the world to me. And my dad, we used to have a good relationship when I was a kid, but it seemed as soon as I became a teenager, he just changed and started to become really, really hard to get along with. And I don't know, because of that, I was fine. When he told me I was 18 to move out of the house, I didn't have a problem with it. By that point in time, our relationship had deteriorated so much, I was glad to get out of his hair. But I miss my mom. I really do. And I'd love to spend more time with her. It's just whenever I do, he's always around. I can't just have one-on-one time with her.
Right.
So
in kind of looking, you mentioned that there was kind of that changing point when you were a teenager. Can you think about maybe anything that maybe would have started that, would have provoked that?
Well, I don't know. You talk about provoke. I don't think I did anything that any normal teenager doesn't do. I didn't get terrible grades. I wasn't ever arrested.
Okay.
But we all experiment. We all, drink and smoke pot and do all that type of stuff. And I did that. And I know he didn't care for it. But you know what? He probably did a lot worse when he was a kid. So that whole high and mighty attitude that he gives me, that's bullshit. I don't put up with that. Because I know he probably did the same stuff that I did when I was a kid. And my mom's told me she did, and she's totally accepting of me being a kid and experimenting, as long as I didn't let it affect my life, which I don't anymore. I don't let it affect me. But he just, I don't know, for him, going down that path, being a normal teenager, just seemed to really piss him off. And then the fact that he was all-star football quarterback, and I don't care for football. I think it's a lame sport. But, that didn't live up to Dad's wishes, so, I don't know. It could have been any number of those things, so.
So do you think that you have not lived up to his expectations?
I don't care whether or not I've lived up to his expectations. He cares. Because he always wants to check in on me. Whenever I see him, it's always like an assessment. How you doing? What are you doing? Are you staying out of trouble? How much are you making? Yeah, he cares about my success just because I think it impacts on how he looks. And I could give a shit. Those are his expectations. And I'm happy just being the way I am.
So it sounds like your dad's approval isn't necessarily needed. But
Not by me,
But it
yeah.
sounds like maybe your mom's is? Tell me more about that.
Well, she approves of me. Like I said, when I'm with Mom, things are just chill. I can relax. I don't feel like I'm being judged. We go and we spend quality time together. There's a mutual relationship. There's good emotions shared between us. And when I'm with Dad, I don't feel that. When I'm with Dad, it's like, okay, when can I leave? When is this over? It's almost like a mandatory meeting that I just have to be at, and I'm just waiting for the clock to run out before I can leave.
So what will you and your mom do when you spend quality time together?
Lots of stuff. She likes to go to, not opera, ballet. She likes stuff like that. And I don't mind going to that, it's interesting to me. I'll go and I'll sit through a couple hours of that, but she likes just a lot of, because her health is a little bit alien in her older age, so she doesn't get around much. We do a lot of things like that, like going to movies, maybe go to, a ballet. She likes to go out to eat, at good restaurants, so we make it a point to kind of go around town and find all the places that maybe we haven't eaten at yet. And, we'll try someplace new. So that's really fun, and then she's got her favorites that she likes to go to. So spending that time with her, hopefully before, hopefully I have her for many more years, but before she passes on, yeah, I'd like to spend that quality time with her.
I can see that you just light up when you talk about your mom. And
She's fun. She's fun to be around, yeah.
It's nice to know that you have that support and that family structure. So let's go back to your anxiety that we were talking about. So you mentioned first thing off was that you didn't talk to your dad for a while, so that was kind of made it so it was a little less anxiety for this, kind of this week. What else is there that you think kind of brings that about for you?
What brings about my anxiety? I think people that remind me of him. I see my boss, like I was telling you before, when he comes to work, it just seems like everybody gets all stressed out, and that's not a good place to work. And it's because he acts a lot like Dad does, he comes in, starts barking orders, starts criticizing everybody's work, you're not doing this right, this job was shit, you gotta go out and fix it, this person's complaining. And none of that is productive to the workforce, me and the other coworkers at lunchtime when we're sitting around and he's not around, we're having fun, we're kicked back, we're telling jokes, and it's just, fun to be around most of my old coworkers, Bob and Bill. But these two new interns we've got, one of them's his son, which is a piece of shit. He needs to be fired, but the boss will never fire him because he's his son. So, he's worthless. You tag him along to a job and you're basically doing twice the work because he's causing most of the problems. And the other kid's fine. He's just a teenager, and he's trying to learn the ropes like I was at that age. But, I don't mind him so much. It's just, the boss and his son just make work impossible. Because anxiety, you talk about my anxiety spiking. I'm fine when I'm driving to work in the morning. I'm listening to music. I've got my coffee. I've just woke up. It's good. And then I get to work and it's like my gut just in a knot and instantly ties as soon as I see him. And if I get to the office and his car's not out front, I'm cool. Because then he's already posted the jobs up on the job board. I just need to grab my work and I hit the road. And I can have a great day. And I would say that maybe happens 2 days out of the week.
Okay.
The other 3 days, he is complete micromanager. He's there, he's trying to tell everybody what to do, and he just causes more problem than what it's worth. But trying to get that through his head, he's not going to listen. So, that's kind of where it's at with him.
So, what I'm hearing is, you know your job. You know you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
And so to have somebody micromanage you, it makes that anxiety spike.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need somebody second guessing my work because then it shows, okay, do you not trust me? Is there some bigger issue we need to talk about here, That sort of thing. I don't understand why people need to be that way. If you've hired me for the job, I can do the work, leave me the fuck alone. Sorry to swear, I know you don't like swearing,
That's
but,
right.
it's just more of a, yeah, if you could get me to work so I can just do my job and nobody has to get in my way, I really, really enjoy what I do. Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned when you talked about kind of when you drive to work, you're good with your coffee and you're set for the day, but then as soon as you see his truck, it's almost in your gut, you feel it. So tell me more kind of what that anxiety buildup feels like for you.
Are you talking like, what do I feel,
Yeah,
like in my
like
body?
what's going on in your body?
So as soon as I see it, I don't know, I feel my heart start beating a little bit faster, my hands get a little sweaty. I guess it's the nerves and stuff that start to kick in, and so I just have to tell myself, okay, just don't give him eye contact, just ignore him. Walk in and see if your job's posted. If it's not, just wait around in the waiting room until he's ready to hand them out. So yeah, I have to remind myself just to, calm down. Even though my heart's beating like a rabbit whenever I see him. I'm having a hard time talking to my coworkers. If he asks me a question, it's really hard to respond to him, just because he starts to make me feel nervous. Even though I know my job, I know I'm competent at it, I just don't feel like I'm confident when he's around. I feel like I'm going 100 miles per hour just to please him, and just because I want to keep my job. It's not because I want him to be happy. It's because I want my job. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, as you kind of feel this tension build up, it sounds like you've got a few things in place that you're already starting to calm yourself down. Is that something more that you would like to work on, that maybe we can find you some?
Yeah, no, the coping mechanisms that we talked about last time seem to be helping. I don't know if it's those or if it's the meds or if it's both. I don't know, maybe you could tell me, but, yeah, so one of the things you told me really, really helps is with the breathing. So when I see him, or if I start feeling anxious, just start breathing. I take a deep breath, in for 5 seconds, out for 7. And then, yeah, just, that's easy to help me kind of focus and concentrate. The other one that you told me, count backwards, that doesn't work, because
Okay.
I have a hard time trying to, multitask, I guess is the word you'd use,
Right.
when I'm so anxious at that point in time. So clearing my mind, I think, is better than giving my mind another task to do,
Gotcha.
if that makes sense.
Right. So you've kind of pinpointed what's working for you and what's not.
So, yeah, I've only, a few things, but if you've got more suggestions, I'd be happy to hear them.
Yeah, I think that might be something we want to look at working on as
Okay.
well. So last time when we talked, we did the scale for the anxiety, but we also looked at that scale as kind of where you see yourself in society, that 1 to 10 scale. And you gave yourself a 4 last time.
Mhm.
Where are you at now?
I don't know. I felt good when I was coming in, and now I'm talking about work. I'm starting to get kind of pissed off. I'm at about a 4 still, maybe a 5 right now. Just, yeah, because I don't,
Okay, and that's okay. For you to go back and forth, it's a process. And that's one thing I want to make sure you know, that there's going to be days that you walk out of here and you have those tools and you're really focused and you feel like you can conquer something. And there's going to be days where...
Well, and that's fine.
Apologize for that interruption.
That's okay. Power
So,
goes out every once in a while.
It does.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, I want to go back to that, where you're at with the 4, maybe the 5.
Okay.
Tell me how you feel about had progressed further and now you're back a little bit.
Yeah, so you gave me the assessment, and the assessment helps. And, when I was out in the waiting room, I have to fill out your paperwork every week, which I don't mind. And you just kind of want to know where I was today. And so right now, I'd say that I'm at about the same, at about a 4 or a 5. The breathing technique that you gave me really has helped. Just taking a deep breath, just taking a moment for myself. But the counting backwards thing that you gave me, that doesn't help, because it's too much trying to divert my mind and multitask on something that I'm not used to. I'm much more of I just separate myself from the incident. Like if I'm driving to work and I see my boss and I know I'm gonna be upset, I'm still in my truck. I can still take a moment for myself. A good example of this is, when I'm with my girlfriend, she doesn't give me that minute. I can't just stop talking to her and go and breathe and be myself. She doesn't let me.
Okay.
She doesn't let me do that.
So what does that look like? Is from your boss to your girlfriend? Tell me how those are different.
Yeah, night and day. So, I mean, work-wise, I know what I've got to do at work. And like I said, a lot of the time, I'm by myself if I can help it. And if I get assigned a partner, that's fine as long as they're not a tool. But with her, you know, I'm choosing to be around her. I really like spending time with her. She's a great person. You know, I would almost go as far as to say I love her, but I don't know if I really feel that strongly about her yet. But I really, really enjoy spending time with her. You know, but we just have our issues. You know, there's times when we fight and we bicker, and you know, they're not big knockdown, you know, drag out fights, but it's still stuff that, you know, I mean, she'll get upset about something, you know, like a dinner or something like that, and I don't know. I would just, you know, when she gets angry, like, okay, so the other night, she wanted to go to the Italian place downtown for dinner. But I had been there just a few days ago with my mom. And so I didn't want to go again. I was more in the mood for Mexican. So I told her, let's go out to the Mexican joint. And she started getting all upset just because she felt that I wasn't spending enough time with her, that I was, you know, I was more about my mom. And, you know, and it wasn't that at all. It was just, I didn't want Italian food. And so I was trying to explain that to her. She wouldn't let me explain it to her. She started getting angry at me, and at that one point in time, when she starts getting angry, that's when I start feeling the anxiety come on, and I just want to separate myself. I just want to step back a little bit and go, okay, you know, practice my deep breathing, go in the other room, but I can't do that, because if I walk away, then she feels like I'm avoiding her, and I don't care about the relationship, and I'm not respecting her because I don't, you know, spend the time talking. It's not about that at all.
What is it about? What is it about?
Well, it's about spending quality time. You know, I mean, she's really fun to be around.
But the walking out of the room.
Well, she feels that I'm not committed if I'm trying to take a moment. She doesn't understand how I'm trying to cope with my anxiety.
So
I just need her to understand.
So tell me how you feel that she's doing that. When you walk out of that room, how do you think she sees that?
Well, I mean, she probably is upset because she feels like I'm avoiding the situation, but I'm not. I need a minute. I just need her to understand that sometimes when people yell, when people get angry at me, I don't want to be confrontational. I just need to separate myself so my anxiety doesn't take over and I can't function. I just need a minute. I just need her to understand that.
So how can you get her to understand that?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean, she knows about it. She knows I'm coming to counseling. She knows I'm on medication. But she doesn't have any issues with anxiety, so I don't know how to get her to understand. You know, I mean, if she's not living, you know, like I am, if she's not in my shoes, I don't know if she'll ever understand it. But just if she could at least be understanding, just give me a minute and understand that it's not about her. I mean, that's really all I'm asking, is just for a few minutes, calm down, maybe look at the scenario from a different perspective, because I don't want to say something I'm going to regret.
So how can you get her to understand that? She sounds like she is supportive of you coming to counseling.
Yeah, she doesn't mind, and she's a smart girl.
So how can you help her to understand more of what you're going through if she doesn't right now?
I don't know, I mean, just explain it to her, I guess, but I don't know when the time would be right to explain it to her. I mean, it just seems like if I'm at work all day and I'm putting in a full day's work and she's working all day and then we come home and, you know, we're pressed for time and it's dinner time, you know, we gotta make a decision real quick, then it's, you know, we're out of time. And then it usually ends up getting stressed out, but, you know, I don't know, we got time on the weekends, you know, Saturday and Sunday neither of us work, so, I don't know, if she'd sit down and be willing to talk about it, I guess. I mean, she's okay talking about it, it's just, you know, her understanding at that point in time when I need her to understand. You know, I don't want to remind her in the middle of an argument, she'd be like, hey, I need a minute, you know, I mean, but I don't know, I guess if she'd just remember it.
So what do you need her to understand? What is it that you
What I need her to understand is if I'm having a discussion with her and she gets angry at me and I leave the room, that it's not about her. That I just need a minute to myself just so I can calm down, just so she can calm down, so that we don't get back to the point of yelling, because once it yells, then it's just dysfunctional, it just breaks apart.
Okay. Have you said that to her?
No. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. It might have come up in one of our arguments, but I don't know.
Okay. Do you think that would be beneficial if she understood that?
Well, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't in the heat of the moment, that's what I'm trying to get her to understand, yeah. So I just...
So when's the time that you could say that?
I have time on the weekends. like I said, we're always just kinda goofing around on the weekends, there's nothing really structured, it's just downtime. So I guess if it came up in conversation, we could talk about it, but I don't know, like, that's the thing, maybe I'm just worried that she's just gonna, I don't know, I'm worried about how she'll take it, I guess. And then that gets my anxiety going all over again, just cause I worry about our relationship. I mean, she's the first good thing that's happened to me in a long time, I don't wanna lose her, so.
So what is your fear? How she'll take that?
I hope she won't dump me, you know, I mean, she said that she's accepting of my anxiety, so this is kind of the real test. It's like, well, if you're accepting, you know, it's kinda like the proof is in the pudding, you know, I need to see that you're really accepting of me.
So is that something that you would be willing to do, to have that conversation with her?
Well, I guess the way you make it sound, it's like it kinda needs to happen, because if not, you know, I mean, our relationship's gonna be on pins and needles all the time, and I don't want that. You know, but at the same time, yeah, I think it needs to be explained to her that this is what it is, and can you say you're okay with it, but are you really okay with it? And if she's not, I don't know, I guess that's my fear, is that she really finds out that she's not okay with it, and then we break up. Like, and that's what I wanna avoid happening. So.
That's a very reasonable fear, you know, it sounds like you really value that relationship that you have with her, so.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I have real strong feelings about it, so.
So giving her that opportunity to understand you completely.
Well, yeah, because that was my issue all along with Dad. I mean, he never felt like he really understood me. You know, no matter how many times I tried to explain it to him, he just did not understand. Mom, she's totally cool, she understands. Girlfriend says she understands. But does she really? I don't know. And that's where it's like when we start getting angry, you know, I don't see somebody I want to be around anymore. I just see some jerk authority figure, and she's not a jerk. 9 times out of 10, she's not that way.
So do you see a similarity between your dad and your girlfriend with personalities?
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, I'm hoping that it's not me. Because if they're both getting angry with me, it's like, you know, is it something I'm doing? And then I start second guessing myself. You know, I pissed off Dad, now I'm pissing off girlfriend. Do I just, you know, I piss off the boss at work? Am I really just start pissing everybody off? Like, is everybody just pissed off at me all the time?
I think if you look at all of your surroundings as a whole, I think you'll see that that's probably not the case.
Well, but it seems like it is.
So how do we?
I mean, my
how do we work on
surroundings
that?
are my work and my relationships, and everybody seems to always be getting pissed off at me. So yeah, that's kind of, all signs point to, you know, Mark's got an issue. Jeff's got an issue.
So what issue is that, and what do you want to work on?
Not pissing people off, just so that, you know, like I said, I don't mind being around people. A lot of my coworkers are cool, as long as they're not, you know, they don't get angry with me the way the boss does. I just don't want people to be angry with me, you know, people just need to learn to calm down. So, I don't know, can we work on that, I guess, next time when I come in?
That sounds great.
Okay,
We'll see you next week.
thanks.